Oh, violence does call me, I've answered before. I've made many enemies, I've settled my scores. But I did grow weary and I settled down, and proudly bore the weight of my crown. I lived on my lonesome away in the far, where there was no violence to trouble my heart. I hung up my sword and I raised up my hoe, and I lied as I said that I never would go. But came a cry from a man that I'd known, someone to whom rare compassion I'd shown, and so I opened up my door to the man who promised me blood and war. Oh, woe to thee, ye people of order, I hope your homes continue to smolder, and that you never rise again and leave me be, and leave my friends. I followed him far to a distant land, where they had been exiled by one single man, whose horns were so wicked, whose power so great, that you looked in his eyes and were swallowed by hate. I was taken to shelter this humble abode, a pitiful cavern these comrades called home. They handed me bedding and weapons and food, and I sat and pondered on what I should do. For I craved violence, I craved to be free from the people who wish to control me. Yes, I believe in anarchy's reign. I know that dictators only bring pain. Oh, woe to thee, ye people of order, I hope your homes continue to smolder, and that you never rise again and leave me be, and leave my friends. I prepared for battle, I hoarded and schemed, but I did not know all was not as it seemed. My allies unstable, their loyalty thin. Yes, we would have victory, but what would we win? The battle was chaos, blood roared in my ears. A chain of explosions, they looked up with fear. My allies victorious set a leader to reign, and I shuddered as I realized that I'd been betrayed. Is this what you want? Corruption and power? Well, I won't stand for it. This is my hour. Take on these beasts. I'm now friend to none. Do you think you're a hero? Then die like one. Oh, woe to thee, ye people of order, I hope your homes continue to smolder, and that you never rise again. And woe to those who called me a friend. I fled until silence was all I could hear. The voices once screaming now hummed in my ears. The cold, it was lonely, but I was alone, and I promised that I'd not let blood taint my home. But then came a message from my only friend, a warrior, hide or else this is the end. They bound up my wings and they hunt for your head. They promised me justice, but they'll see you dead. They came to me with an armed battalion, held an axe to my innocent stallion, and said, now it is your turn to bow. See how the king has fallen now. They raised an anvil and laid me below. They thought to crush me, painful and slow. But I survived by another man's deeds, and I put my pick through the butcher's teeth. Oh, woe to thee, ye people of order, I hope your homes continue to smolder, and that you never rise again. And woe to those who threaten my friends. I returned from battle all tattered and worn, and found at my doorstep a child forlorn. He told me his story, he told me his woes, as I thought up a plan for our mutual foes. I stealthily went to familiar lands, as I gathered my weapons and laid up my plans. But when the poor child spoke with friends he had known, he abandoned our mission and left me alone. I gathered my hounds and made them devour the allies I once knew. Sweet friendship now sour, and let explosions rain from above, and gladly laid waste to the land that they loved. Oh, woe to thee, ye people of order, I hope your homes continue to smolder, and that you never rise again. And woe to those who call me a friend. I gathered my allies round a table to scheme, as I took a new prodigy under my wing. The butcher returned with revenge in his eyes. I followed and listened, but knew he spoke lies. They trapped me with the man that I had to repay, but I was prepared, they could not make me stay. By the time we were ready to stage a rescue, they'd taken my apprentice and locked him up too. With fierce determination our plans were all honed, to save both that boy and the man that I owed. All went as expected, we thought we'd escaped, but they grabbed my apprentice and there he was slain. My grief and my rage flared brighter than flame. I charged the warden, but he fled the blame. We tracked him down, escape he could not, as we dragged him back there and left him to rot. Oh, woe to thee, ye people of order, I hope your homes continue to smolder, and that you never rise again. And woe to those who threaten my friends. Now I've been through the worlds, and I've been through the wars, and I've done things I never thought that I could before. But now here I am at my journey's end. Fate comes for us all, and I am not exempt. But I will not weep, for I know in my mind the extent of the legacy I leave behind. A most loyal legion, or 10 million strong, all of my deeds now exalted in song. And since I've abolished the domains of men, I ascend to the heavens to do it again. But there is no need for me to say goodbye, if you remember this truth, that the blade never dies. Oh, woe to thee, ye people of order, I hope your homes continue to smolder, and that you never rise again. Now leave me be, for this is the end. Oh, woe to all the people of order, your homes in shambles, and still they do smolder, but the voices remain, for we will meet again. Till then, so long, nerds, you are all my friends.